Howdy, partner. It's your old pal at the walking dude of movie reviews, Jason from Binge Movies. Do you remember you were a kid and you'd climb into your family vehicle, maybe a conversion van, and you put your seatbelt on and the seatbelt buckle would scorch your young flesh like a hot branding iron? Do you remember the feel of crushed goldfish and pizza combos in the conversion van carpet? Did your younger brother ever puke out the window into gridlock on I-75 after housing his Happy Meal? If so, you've been on a road trip, and you know they are long, tiring, and uncomfortable. These are three perfect adjectives to describe what we've got for you today and every day subsequently following. I'll be hitching my way across Movie USA with my dear internet-only friend, Lindsay Washburn. Lindsay, they say never get in a conversion van with a stranger, but you're no stranger to me. We met on the open roads of the information superhighway, little thing called the algorithm, little place called YouTube. I saw you on there and I thought, boy, this gal sure is swell, and she sure knows how to analyze movies, including Bedroom Eyes 2, starring Wings Hauser and Linda Blair as Joey. So I called you up, Lindsay, as my good friend, and I said, Lindsay, meet me in California and bring your conversion van because we're going to tour the United States. And by United States, I mean California to Central Texas.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love road trips. We usually go on one a year, but I remember as kids, they weren't the funnest, but I still enjoyed them because in the Midwest, you know, any travel is a road trip because you're not flying anywhere.
That's
if
very
it's
true.
If it's less than a 14-hour drive, you're in the car.
Yep.
It's just the way of it. It's how we do it.
That's right. And in case my noise gate isn't set very well, that snoring you hear is my dog who's already bored by this conversation.
She is.
She's brand new and she's laying at my feet, sort of, and just on law.
She is out.
Yes.
She's like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
You guys are boring as fuck.
I took her on a 2-mile walk and I said, come on, we're going to mosey over here. I can't keep that up. But listen.
I know. Where's that accent from?
Iowa, I think.
You only get a little bit of twang down at the Missouri border.
Oh, Missouri. Ugh.
Yeah.
Nothing good comes out of Missouri. Nothing good.
Well, they got legal weed now. They have full rec weed. So
in Branson?
I don't know. I don't know about Branson.
Lindsay?
That'd be an interesting dispensary to go to in Branson.
We have to go to Branson, Missouri. And we have to do recreational weed and go see magic shows and Yakov Smirnov.
Yep.
And
yes.
Yeah, we have to report live on your channel.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
There's so many shows. I think I have some tapes of some Branson shows in my collection.
This is wonderful. This is news to hear. So my goal is always to do like I want to do live shows in person, you know, like live podcast shows. And so I've been trying for years and years and years to do a live episode with real spoilers. And they think nobody's going to show up. But I say, don't doubt your popularity. Doubt my popularity, but don't doubt your own popularity. I'm trying to get on your coattails. And the same thing is true with you. I'm trying to get on your coattails. So if you ever want to do a meetup, let's meet up in Branson, Missouri. I'll fly, you drive, and then we'll go to Yakov Smirnov, take some edibles. We'll have a hell of a time. And we'll try to
what a country.
What a country.
What a country.
Speaking of a country, we're going to be transversing at least a quarter of the country, maybe a little bit less. We're going to be taking off from California, United States. The way that this is going to work, I have no fucking clue how it's going to work on your channel, Lindsay. How it's going to work in an audio format is if you want the audio of this, you're probably already listening to it. So you got to stay right here.
Yes.
There's going to be 4 of these in a row, an entire week of Jason and Lindsay. If you want video, you have to go to Lindsay Washburn's channel, and they'll be coming out for the next 4 summers, probably, but one a year.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will just ooze them out over time, so to speak.
Yeah. Now, did you have a fancy schmancy setup where you could have a VHS player in a moving vehicle? Did your parents have that, or were you poor like me?
Oh, we were fucking poor. No. The coolest thing that we ever did we had 2 vans growing up. We had a Libyan van, like from Back to the Future. Old Toyota van.
I don't know if you're
we
able
had
to
one
say
of those
that.
I know. Well, I don't think so either. But that's how he referenced.
I thought you meant you literally had a van from Libya. I was like, is that a thing?
No, in Back to the Future, the Libyans that are after Doc drive this kind of van. I think it's a Toyota. I'm not sure.
Let's see if you bastards could do 90.
And my dad put a plank of board under the seat that kind of like swiveled out so that I could sleep, so that we could take turns sleeping. Because there was 6 of us in total in this tiny little van. I think the furthest that we went was maybe Devil's Tower in Wyoming. But then we got, what was it? Was it a Savara? No, it was an Astro van.
Oh, I remember the Astros.
We had the 80s Astro van.
Yes.
And then it broke down, and then cats were living in it for a while.
Was it blue?
And then we sold
like blue and gray?
No, it was just gray.
Gray.
Like all gray. Like a darker gray and a lighter gray.
Yeah.
And so a family of cats, feral cats, moved into it because it was broke down. And then we sold it to the guy at the mall who would do the simulator things. You know what I mean? The simulator pod thing where you get up and you go into this pod at the mall. It was like a kiosk. He traveled around and you'd be on a roller coaster on the inside and it would just shake and move and there'd be a screen at the front.
This sounds sketchy, Lindsay.
This never came to your mall?
A strange man would just set up a motion machine at the mall and put children in it.
He put tons of people. It was like this gray, like Star Trek lander looking pod thing.
You know what I imagine? I imagine your tiny, tiny little body being flung from one side to the other.
Just jostled around like
in this carny ride that had no government regulation or standards whatsoever.
None.
It's like driving around without a seatbelt, doing 90 in a Libyan van.
Yes.
In the parking lot of your mall. I mean, are you intentionally layering just all these Back to the Future references into this?
No.
Because you're like, just show up in the parking lot of a mall, and we would go there in a Libyan van.
It was inside the mall.
Did you ever travel back to 1955 or whenever your parents were in high school?
My parents would have been in high school like in the 60s.
Okay. Did you ever catch your dad climbing a tree to peep on your mom and then you accidentally knocked him out of the way and then your mom fell in love with you?
No, that did not happen.
No, that's my childhood.
No.
Yeah. I thought we had a lot in common.
Evidently not.
No. One of the things that we do have in common though is we like movies and we like talking about movies and we like talking about movies with each other. We like talking about movies that nobody gives a shit about. So I figured we'd go ahead and fire up 1971's Duel.
Dennis Weaver.
Okay, Jack, I've had it. Why? Why is he doing this?
Duel.
Yeah.
The ultimate road trip movie set in California. This is, of course, the debut of Steven Spielberg. And I would just say, if you don't know what Duel is, it's originally a made-for-television movie. It was eventually extended from 71 minutes, I think, to 94 minutes and put it in international markets.
Yes.
So it could be considered theatrical. Now, all that stuff, Lindsay, I think was shot after it already aired in the United States, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It was a couple scenes.
Yeah. So here's what you need to know. Before he convinced generations that a shark was loose in their bathtubs and swimming pools, Steven Spielberg made every weakling man in America afraid to drive through the Mojave. With 33% share of total households in America watching, old Steve-O directed the greatest made-for-TV movie of all time. The second is Terror in the Family, by the way, which stars Academy Award winner Hilary Swank. You ever seen Terror in the Family?
I have not.
It's got the mom from Growing Pains. It's got the dad from Wonder Years.
Meredith Baxter Burney?
No. I was supposed to say Judith Light, but that's not right.
That's who's the boss, isn't it?
Yeah, that's who's the boss. This is Growing Pains.
She's one of those.
This is Mrs. Seaver.
Oh, okay.
Mrs. Seaver.
Yes.
And Hilary
Swank.
Swank. You just have to watch this movie to believe it. I cannot commend Terror in the Family enough to you. It is the second best made for television movie that has ever been made. Lindsay, I know you don't have time because you're going to be busy watching Waxwork 1 and 2, Buttercream Gang 2, and 3 more movies on this road trip. But once we get back to California or however this is going to work, and you make your way finally back to Iowa to get back to your farmstead. Speaking of farmstead, I've got a wild boar in here with me. But if you feral pig, I have a feral pig. But if you got to watch Terror in the Family, and please report back.
I will.
But we're not here to talk about the second best made for TV movie of all time. We're here to talk about the number one best. Duel, which debuted on the ABC Movie of the Week on November 13th, 1971. Coming in at a paltry 74 minutes. I watched the theatrical cut, which is 90-some minutes. You say, before I kick it over to you, you say that Dennis Weaver reminds you of who?
Pedro Pascal. And he just looks like him to me.
Yeah.
I think if they ever made a remake, he would be good in that role.
Do you know what he looks and sounds like to me?
Huh.
Burt Gummer, a.k.a. Michael Gross from Family Ties. The entire movie, I'm like, This is Michael Gross.
Oh, yeah. No, I can see that.
So much so, I'm like, did Michael Gross cop his entire acting style from Dennis Weaver?
It's possible.
Is he the inspiration for Burt Gummer? It's very
possible. You broke into the Rob Galdon rec room.
From a very, very obvious dubbed over. I think he said something. I think he used naughtier words, Lindsay.
A couple.
Have you ever seen Duel before?
Oh, yeah. I saw Duel as a kid with my dad on like TNT.
Did you really?
I think it could have been TNT or TBS. I didn't see the whole thing. I came in probably around the diner scene, I think, if I remember correctly. But I was just like hypnotized by this movie, even as a kid.
Interesting.
I love this movie. Interesting.
How many times have you watched it subsequently?
Oh, gosh, a dozen maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
Would it surprise you to know that I've never seen it before? This is my first time.
You'd never seen Duel? Ooh.
Correct. I decided if there's anybody in the world I want to watch this movie with for the first time, it's you, Lindsay. That's how deep this.
I feel honored.
That's how deep this friendship goes.
Had you heard of Duel before?
Do you take me as a troglodyte of some kind?
Oh no! When did it come on your radar?
Who lives in the hills that have eyes and comes out like Michael Berry? You know, I know I'm freakishly large, but I'm not that weird looking. And come out and like bang people on the head and rip them out of their RV. I don't do that. Mm-hmm. I travel around in a conversion van with you talking about movies nobody cares about.
Well, more people should care about Duel.
More people should care about Duel, and more people should care about Terror in the Family.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to watch it. You got to report back to me. For those that don't know what Duel is, who are troglodytes, according to Lindsay Washburn, this movie has. I'm going to say this as simply as I can for all those simple-minded hill folks who are the byproduct of radiation and incest. It is the simplest of setups with basically a single character who is our main character. He's a salesman of some sort. He's given the not so subtle name of Mann, but with two N's.
Man.
Because he's any man. He's every man. He could be you. He could be me. He's just a guy in some very, very tight, non-breathable fabric. Just trying to get through the Mojave Desert without air conditioning to make a sales appointment.
Oof.
Because he is a salesman and a disappointment to his wife. He is a
gosh.
disappointing lover, disappointing husband. He's a failure in every
disappointment to himself.
Yes.
I mean, I love how this movie starts off. It just comes up from black.
Yep.
We're starting the trip.
Yep.
We hear the engine turn on, and we're leaving a garage.
Yep.
We have no information. We're just in a car with this guy.
Yep.
And so everything that we learn about this guy is told through us on his drive. Like even the radio shit that he's listening to informs us about his character, because they do that prank call about the guy who's like, oh, I'm not the head of the household and I do all the women's work and all this kind of stuff. And then later on we get the phone call from his wife, and when he stops for gas, the guy says, well, you're the boss, and he replies, well, not in my house. So the whole time before we get to like the real meat of the movie, it's set up that this guy is a pussy.
I was just say he's a real cuck simp, but that works.
Yeah, and that works too. It's just he's always doubting himself. Yeah. He doesn't believe in his own abilities, and he's thrown into this life or death situation. And it's like, well, do you got a pair? Don't you?
Well, you're exactly right. And the other thing is he's agreed to drive across the desert to some remote location because this guy he's trying was a big account. And the guy's like, I'll only meet you at this time at this place, and you got to come to me. And
I'm going to Hawaii tomorrow, so you better get up here.
You better get up here. And so he's kind of a cuck for the account. He's a cuck for his boss. Mm-hmm. He's a simp for his wife, who's like, but you told me you'd be home for dinner at 5:30. And he's like, well, I have a job to do. I have to have this appointment. I have to go, or like our livelihood is hanging in the balance. Mm-hmm. And she's just like, yeah, but you said you better be here by dinner time or you're going to get it, mister. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll try whatever you say. Yeah. And the entire movie is him eventually having this sort of blasé, forgettable experience on a back desert highway with a anonymous truck and its driver who we never see
him.
And the trucker, for whatever reason, then decides, I'm going to murder this cuck. I'm going to murder this son of a bitch. So it's really a Giga Chad trucker trying to take down a cuck salesman who's to determine who's going to be the alpha. If you want to be an alpha, you got to drive a big rig because you got a big hog between your legs.
Dirty fucking
hog truck. And you gotta get the simp out of your way. Yeah.
You gotta wear boots and kick stuff.
You gotta wear boots. You gotta smoke. Parliament's unfiltered.
Be a man.
You gotta be a man, god damn it. Yeah. You gotta have big balls, and you gotta have the driver, the license plates of your victims on the.
Yes,
that's what attracts the women. You want to get the women. Women can't respect a man who doesn't respect himself. Women can't respect a man who respects them. Women only respect big, powerful trucks. Fuck yeah! Is that right?
That's about right. Yeah.
I base my personal philosophy and gender ideology on the trucker from Duel.
Yeah.
Now I do. Now that I've seen it, I'm like, this is my new philosophy.
This is the way to be.
This is the way to be.
You've been red pilled.
I have been truckered. I've been truckered.
But yeah, I mean,
that's why I have a feral pig in here, because a real man doesn't have a dog. A real man goes out and captures a fucking
hog.
Wild boar and puts it in the house and domesticates it. And yeah.
But I mean, there's even some of that stuff in the phone call with his wife, because she's like, "Hey, you should have said something. This guy was practically raping me at in front of the party."
What a wild statement!
Anything. It's a wild statement.
So a dude wrote that line.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If you're a married woman, if your husband ever called you out on the road for business, right? Would you ever in your wildest dreams be like, oh, by the way, especially like in front of your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren in your case, would you ever say to them, just like blurt out like, this guy tried to rape me at a party and you didn't do anything. Like, that seems like a dude wrote that, right?
Yeah. And it seems a little, I mean, it was the 70s. You never know.
I went back and forth in my mind of like, is this hyperbole?
I think so.
Or did somebody actually try to rape her at a party?
I think someone probably got, I don't know, but I think she is being hyperbolic because she's kind of a bitch. She kind of walks all over her husband and pushes him on stuff, and he's like, I don't want to talk about this right now. There's nothing, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm in the middle of the goddamn desert.
Yeah.
Trying to work.
Yeah, his response to it is like,
now.
What did you want me to do? Go up and sock the guy in the nose? What do you want me to do? Punch him in the face? And she's like, maybe if that's what it takes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. If you're gonna be a man.
You're gonna be a man, M-A-N-N. You ain't no man. Ain't got no balls. Ain't got no scrote.
Well, and then he's like, I don't want to talk about this right now because it's going to turn into an argument. She goes, well, we both know you wouldn't want that. She's got this guy's balls in her purse.
It seems like what she wants is him to fight men in public. Yeah. Maybe knock her around a little bit. like
I don't know.
Like she's like,
I don't know.
I want an aggressive man who will just grab me by the hair and take me in the bedroom. And he's not that. I'm like it's just, to me, her entire character felt like a dude wrote a shrew wife who wants a manly man who's willing to fight for her and tell her to shut up when she needs to be told to shut the hell up, bitch. Like, that's what it felt like. And I felt like, no, I don't feel like this is an interaction between a heteronormative couple, even in the 70s.
No. And I think and that was one of the scenes that was added, was the phone call with his wife, is something that they went back and did reshoots on. But it's just to show more that his character is he's averse to confrontation of any kind.
Yeah.
Which plays in hugely to the movie. Like, he can't even stand up to his wife.
Yep.
He can't even say something to a guy who's maybe saying something crass to his wife. He doubts that he can even hold it together going 70 miles an hour trying to get away from this guy. Yep. So he's emasculated, essentially, by those situations.
You ever seen the Simpsons character that's based on Jack Lemmon from Glengarry Glen Ross? It's like, if I just get this one cell, everything will turn around for me. That's who this guy is, basically.
That's him. That's him.
Yeah. And we get to know him very deeply because the movie delves into, since he is the only character, and for entire, he's he's a stranger in a strange town, basically.
Yes.
Even when he's
out of his
element, when he stops at remote places, no one speaks to him, nobody looks at him, because these are far-flung places that only have the usuals, and he's a stranger. And it's
a lot of men, and men that are kind of scary to him.
Yeah, big, burly, 70s masculine men. When men were men, goddammit.
With big fucking sideburns.
Big fucking sideburns. No soy boys here, brother. These are men. Yeah. And he walks in, with his tight little pants and his soy boy attitude. And they're like, get out of here.
Orders a cheese sandwich on rye.
Yeah. You can't even eat meat because you ain't got no meat. You ain't got no meat, boy, between them legs. And we'll get to the moral message of this movie by the end. But so it's just him, and so we get all of this internal monologuing, and the entire time he's like, like you said, he's like, I can't drive 70. He could go at least 70, but if I went 90, I could maybe get away from him, but I can't. I can't get away from him because I can't drive 90. I can't even drive 70.
Yeah.
I don't think I can get this car above 60. I don't think I'd be able to handle it. Like, and all this sort of stuff constantly. Like, maybe
self-doubt.
Yeah, maybe that guy at the bar, maybe that's the one. He's got to be the guy. He's the guy. And the entire time I was like watching him, like between the paranoia and the close-ups and the diner setting and the inner monologue, I thought, this is eerily reminiscent of Twilight Zone. So I wrote Twilight Zone in my notes. And come to find out, the screenplay is written based off a short story of the same guy, same person wrote both of them. And that person is who, Lindsay?
That is Richard Matheson.
I Am Legend himself, and one of the teleplay authors
the
of
Omega Man.
Of tons of Twilight Zone episodes. He is
Terror at 30,000 feet.
Yes.
The Shrinking Man,
Yes.
whatever. I can't remember the title, but tons of them.
He is one of the main collaborators, or at the very, like, he was kind of a twofold guy where they would adapt his short stories for the Twilight Zone, and he also wrote original scripts for the Twilight Zone or helped them adapt their stuff. So this 100%, when I did a little research after the fact, I was like, well, no wonder it felt like the Twilight Zone, because it's fucking Richard Matheson, and this is 100% a Richard Matheson story. Even the way, like,
it is
the way that the truck, and I know some of this comes down to Spielberg and his cinematographer, but the way that the truck is presented, the truck almost has a face in and of itself.
Yes.
And
it is it's the character.
It is the character. The trucker isn't the person, the villain, the monster. The way the truck roars, the way that it's honestly, the way he shoots this truck is very similar to how he would shoot the T-Rex in Jurassic Park years later. Some of the sounds I think are even the same. I think I saw that where some of the truck sounds in Duel were mixed into the T-Rex.
Well, I'm not sure about if it was mixed into the T-Rex, but I do know it was mixed into Jaws.
Was it really?
Bruce the Shark? Yes, when Bruce the Shark blows up at the end and it is slowly falling, in the water, like the truck at the end is slowly falling. Yes. He puts that sound in there. And before we end this, we do have to talk a little bit about Jaws and how this movie, this movie and Jaws are like spiritual sequel to Duel.
Yeah, this is almost like the dry run for, no pun intended, what would become Jaws. So one of the other scenes that was added is there's a scene where he does all these different maneuvers on the highway. Mr. Mann does all the driver, our main character, does all these maneuvers to try to get away from this truck, and he will pull over and he'll sleep for hours, and then he'll go, and then the truck is just there again. It's been waiting for him. And that's where you get that Twilight Zone element of, like, no matter what he does, he can't get away from it.
And it starts over nothing. It starts over nothing. Because when we first see the truck, it passes him and slows way down. Yep. It's kind of a dick move. Yep. So he passes again. And he's like, geez, God, the way he reacts in those first initial contact scenes is very like, oh, gee, golly, this guy. And they just kind of get into what he thinks is like a pissing match on the road, but it's he's chosen you as his next victim.
Yes. And one of the scenes that was added is this man during when he thinks he's gotten away from the truck, but he's not really sure. And so he's really kind of paranoid. There's a bus of school children that is stuck in the desert, and the bus driver is like, "Hey, mister, can you he pulls over, and is like, hey, everything all right here, and he's like, look, if you could just give us a push, because you're driving us
with your car,
but it's a 70s car. In fairness, those things are boats with actual like steel bumper, he's got like a chrome bumper on that thing. So he's like, if you could just push us, get us up out of this hill, we can probably get the engine turned over, and then I can go and get these kids wherever they're going in the middle of the desert.
Little badass
in the middle of the day,
up.
And so even the kids know that he's a wussy,
he gets no respect from anybody. The kids are like, this guy can't help us. Like, he's a loser. No. And I'm like, oh my God. He tries to, when the truck shows back up in the tunnel, he's like, get off the road. And they're like, fuck you.
Right.
I mean, the waitress at the diner doesn't even bring him the correct sandwich.
No.
I mean, he just gets shit on all the time by other people in this movie.
And so he gets himself hooked under the bus because he tells the guy, I think I'm too low. I think you'll hook my bumper. And the guy's like, don't worry about it. You won't hook my bumper. Just do it. Yeah. So he does it. And then he does hook his bumper like he thought. And then all this kerfuffle happens. And then by the time he looks down the road, the truck is just sitting in the fucking tunnel and starts heading towards these children and this bus. And eventually the chase continues. So he is impotent in every single way. He is
because the truck comes and pushes the bus out with no problem.
No problem. While he's left being like, he's going to kill us. He's going to kill us all. And he's just an impotent man with his tiny little car, with his tiny little bumper. He can't move anything. He couldn't help anybody. He can't do shit with that tiny thing between his legs. But if you got a real man who drives a big rig,
the big dirty rig
can hit you in the backside, get you moving. You know what I mean? Fuck yeah, America. You said we couldn't be dirty during an episode of Duel.
We found it.
All of this movie is an extended phallic metaphor. You're the English lit major.
It's very Freudian.
Isn't it though? Freudian. I mean, we're kind of being silly, but isn't it? Doesn't it really come down to he's like a tiny man with his tiny, like he doesn't really have a tiny car, but in comparison, there's this big hulking bully vehicle that's on the road with him. There is something kind of phallic about it, right? Like this big, long, you're not a man. This is what a man is. No. This is what a man does. What a man does is a man runs you off the fucking road if he has to, you know, and you're not that guy. And like it almost, and this isn't true literally, but it's almost metaphorically like, you should know your place in the pecking order, and your place is to never pass me. I pass you. You don't pass me.
This is my territory.
Correct. Yep.
Your territory is over in the suburbs.
Yes.
You're on my ground.
You're in the Badlands.
You're on my turf.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you had the audacity, the fucking audacity to cut me off and jump in front of me. Fuck you, pal. I'm going to run you off the road. I'm going to kill you. That's basically what it is.
Put your license plate on the front of my truck.
Yeah. And eventually he makes it to a telephone booth, which you can see Steven Spielberg fully in the reflection of.
Yes.
Which leads me to go, okay, now this happens a few times. He knowingly does it in the Lost World Jurassic Park. There's a few more times where you see him, he pops up in a reflection in his movies. Are the later usages of it an homage to his first film, Fuck Up?
Oh, yeah.
Or was this a Hitchcock reference? Sort of.
No.
This is a fuck up?
This was a fuck up because they shot this thing in like 12, 13 days.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Just insanely fast. And this is why I will always give Spielberg credit as a filmmaker and as a director. Yeah. And the way he solves problems is just incredible to me.
Yep.
Because they're like, you need to shoot this in the studio with like rear projection for the roads and stuff. And he's like, that's going to kill this movie.
100%.
It's just going to make it awful. We need to shoot this in real locations, real places with real vehicles, real people, all that shit. And they're like, okay, if you stay on schedule the first 3 days, we'll let you shoot the whole thing out there. Otherwise, you're coming back to the studio. And he did. And the ways he did it were so detailed and insane. Like he drew a map of the entire movie. The entire movie.
Yep.
Just this huge thing. He said he had it on his hotel room wall. And he had on there where every action scene happened, every camera setup, all this stuff. He would set up like a 5 camera shot of the truck and the car coming one way, and then he'd just turn the cameras around and have them come the other way. And he's like, that's a fuck ton of coverage in just, 2 simple shots.
Yeah, it's genius.
Genius stuff. And there's another one. There's another shot where he pops up, where he's seen, and that's when they expanded the frame to go to a theatrical release. They had to zoom it forward because you can see him in the back seat, like, hi, I'm not back here.
That's really funny.
And they had 3 weeks from the time they yelled cut to when it was airing.
That's amazing.
It's insane. He had like 4 different editors working at the same time, riding like a bicycle between the 4 editing bays. And the fact that those are the only like noticeable big mistakes is a miracle.
Well, what the movie is it is a miracle, but it's also an exercise in how much can you do with how little.
Yes.
Because this film is lean and mean in
there's no fat on
all
this movie.
The best possible ways. It's a simple story told very simply, but executed at such a high level that even now because by not using rear projection, setting into these real locations, as awful as that probably was, because you're shooting in the freaking desert for real for weeks on end with no budget. It lends you the belief that, especially I think probably even more so in the past, that you could be anybody, literally every man, any person, just trying to get from point A to point B. And if the wrong altercation, not even an altercation, the wrong trivial, banal event happens.
Yes.
On the highway.
Just a misunderstanding.
If you're in the wrong place, the wrong time, it could haunt you for the rest of your life. Because the only way that this guy escapes the scenario is by eventually rigging his own car with his briefcase, jamming it on the accelerator, forcing the truck into driving into it so that it explodes, blinding the driver with fans of flame because his car is on fire in front of the truck. So the truck, tremor style, goes flying off a fucking cliff and crashes, seemingly killing the driver.
We do see blood.
We see blood, dripping blood. And the truck is absolutely mangled. And it's amazing. I'm not 100%.
It's such an amazing shot.
It's an amazing shot. The only way that they could have done it was by driving a actual big rig, a stunt version at the very least, a light version, off a fucking cliff.
Yeah.
Which means you probably only have one chance to get that.
Oh yeah, he had one shot. I think it was like a 3-camera setup, and the longest lingering shot was this one guy off to the side who just kept following the truck as it went down, and that's when you see it kind of disappear into the plume of dust, and then it comes back out like the one last scare. Like, it's so good.
Yep.
And so much of that was just luck.
Yeah. Okay, so can we talk about that for a second? Let's talk about that for a second. So when you're shooting, you're an actress.
Okay.
When you're shooting movies in the real world, in practical locations, through adversity, having to think on your feet, be creative in the moment. How do we get the shot? How do we do this? Maybe what we planned isn't going quite right. Maybe there's kismet. Maybe there's luck that's happening. Hey, over there.
She's awake.
She's itching. What are we, how many magical moments are we missing in these sterile environments with the movies that were being made today?
So many. I think so many. Because a lot of the environments now are just digital.
Digital arenas.
Like the stuff digital arenas where you don't even have a set, really. Yeah. It's just green or whatever. And I think you miss out on those happy accidents. Yeah. Because, and even with practical effects versus computer generated effects, it's like now they would have done that digitally, that truck going over the edge.
That's exactly right. And so you either wouldn't get that accidental pop back up, which feels like that last fright, or if you do, the truck is going to be so uncanny.
Yes.
It's
not going to seem real.
It's not going to seem real. It's going to seem like, well, what are you trying to tell me? That the truck was a monster? Whereas
just like,
right. Whereas opposed to this, because it is a real truck, and just a simple low shot framed up, which is the classic monster shot. That's how you got the original Frankenstein's monster shot. If you ever watch old, the way they would shoot Andre the Giant as the wrestler, whenever he'd come down, they'd always have to be real low.
Oh yeah,
because it made him look colossal, right? That's what they do with the truck. It's these really low shots, and the grill of the truck is almost vroom, like coming right towards the camera.
And when it's like over the top, so it's just like it's just zooming so far forward, and it's shaky.
It's looming over
the visceral.
you. Yeah,
yes,
it's this looming threat, and then we're shooting it from all the like. If you try to do that digitally, then it's like, it almost feels as if you're like, it goes from like you're personifying something when it's practical to anthropomorphizing something when it's digital. Yes. And then it becomes cartoon and it doesn't become visceral. And it's like, this is fucking phony horseshit. And here it's like, the truck isn't supernatural, but Spielberg said, he wanted you to get the feeling of it being supernatural. It just keeps appearing. Yes. But there's a logic to the movie that there's explanation because he's hunting this guy.
Yes. Yeah. And this guy doesn't realize that until pretty far into the movie. But I mean, he you hear him like make little offhand comments of like, he's got to have that thing souped up. Like, what has he got in there? You know, because it's going so fast and it's able to keep up with him. And yeah, it's dirty and it says flammable on it.
Oh yeah, it's dangerous.
And it's got all these bugs on the front and the windshield's dirty and it just has so much character to it just by the look of it.
And we're told nothing.
It works perfectly.
We don't know anything about this guy. The little kind of hidden production design, which we've brought up a few times, was there's multi-state license plates that are strapped to the grill of this thing. And the implication there is that he has killed these people and taken those as trophies. And that's what whoever this person is, it's what he does. He just, why does he need to feel wronged? We don't know, but he just selects people.
We don't need the reasons.
Yeah. And he kills them. And because it's in the middle of fucking nowhere, the people just disappear.
Yeah. And that's why I love desert thriller horror movies.
Oh, you do?
Because I think I do. Because I think it's an environment of isolation that a lot of people don't think about.
And it's so deadly. All you have to do is run out of gas.
It's so deadly.
Overheat your engine. Get a flat tire. Yeah. You're fucking dead. You're dead.
Dead. Done.
No spooky clown is coming out of the woods and laughing and getting you. You just die from the environment.
Yes. Or a rattlesnake bites you or something.
Well, speaking of rattlesnake, right? When he gets to the phone booth, that scene, and he's like trying to call the police. He's like, operator, give the police. Oh God, I need help. Oh, this guy's trying to kill me. It's like this roadside tourist trap carny sort of thing where a lady has like aquariums full of rattlesnakes. She's like, you want to see my rattlesnakes?
A coyote tied up. Yeah. I'm just like.
And what's amazing, right? Like there's a kind of a metaphor there, but like all of these desert predators are tied up or captured or whatever, and the truck just plows through them because he is the apex predator. That truck is the ultimate predator of this desert. And no matter what
don't be afraid of these spiders or these snakes. I'm the thing that's going to get you.
I'm going to get you. Yep. And so, it is an excellent film. The thing I've noticed about Spielberg, I noticed when I've revisited Raiders, is that it's when Soderbergh took Raiders and he desaturated. He turned into a black and white movie. He turned into a black and white silent film. Now he went a step too far because he added like Trent Reznor music as the score. Oh, and I was like, I like Trent Reznor's music, but it just didn't really work because it's like it got like this like electronica score. I'm like, this isn't.
Yeah.
But it was an exercise to be like, what if I changed all of these iconic elements? Took the color, took this. Would the movie kind of still be conveyed, and what parts of it would be conveyed? And I just turned the sound off, and the entire movie works as a silent movie.
Yeah.
And
he originally wanted this to be a silent movie.
And so that's what I was going to say. The entire time I'm watching this, I'm going, this could work as a silent film.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it would be so harrowing.
Very harrowing, because then you really don't have any information.
Yes.
You don't get the clues as to what this guy is like. You don't know what he's thinking outside of his actions.
Yeah. Yep.
And I mean, even the voiceover wasn't originally written into the script. The studio wanted him to add that because he's like, there's no dialogue in this movie. People are going to get bored. And so they added the voiceover stuff. But no, it works totally as a silent film. There's huge stretches in this movie where there's no dialogue.
The only part that I think would be missing is the sound design of not the speech, but of the engines, the tires, the sound of the road. It helps you feel like the heat of the desert and how dirty and scary and sweaty this entire situation is.
Yes, and also the sound is so important to the truck being a signifier of evil, because we know the shape and the look of it, but it has a very, very distinct sound too. Like when he's hiding by the train tracks, we hear the truck coming.
Yes.
But it ends up because he's freaking out. He thinks it's the truck, but it's just the train.
Yeah.
So he hears that in his head. So it's just all these little signifiers of like, oh, could that be the truck? That could be the truck, and it just messes with your head.
I'm going to say something controversial to you here. So brace yourself. I don't think it's controversial, but some people may. A lot of people say like Temple of Doom is Spielberg's darkest movie. It's like his meanest movie. Mm-hmm. I would say I think Duel is his meanest movie. And here's why.
It is pretty mean.
Mann is not likable. His wife is a shrew, like we said. Everybody he encounters, just the civilians, the people on the highway, are largely unhelpful, uncaring.
Yeah.
Not observant. Like you said, he's not welcome. He doesn't matter. He's an outsider. And a random trucker is a murderous stalker. Like his vision of the world, or at least this part of the world, his vision of the desert, these desert enclaves, these podunk, 2-building towns on old abandoned highway once the interstate system moved in, what's left of the old world. It's apocalyptic.
It's very apocalyptic.
And so I'm like, I think this is his meanest fucking movie. Like it's dark. Because here's the thing, like, okay, he ostensibly kills the villain, right? He becomes a man instead of...
He becomes a man.
Because the entire time his strategy is avoid. Pull into this diner and just wait it out. If I get a sandwich and wait for a while, he'll get down the road and I can eventually... He'll forget about me. That doesn't happen. And then, well, if I pull off and I just like hide and then I sleep for hours, then he'll be way gone. And then that doesn't work.
Yes.
So the only way that he can overcome and become a true man is through confrontation, is ultimately taking down this predator, killing this predator.
Yes.
He does, but he's left without a car. He's left without water. He's left without resources, near nothing and no one.
Yep.
On a side of a cliff by himself. He dies out there, right?
It's possible. I mean, because the movie just ends him kind of like sitting there contemplating the day.
Throwing rocks at the corpse of this guy at the bottom.
Well, it's like, where do you go from there?
Right.
You're just this dude who wife is always just nagging and at you, and you missed your big sales call.
Yes.
And this guy was trying to kill you, and you finally killed him.
Yeah.
So you're free, but it's like, where do you go from there?
He's stranded in the desert. He's killed the guy that was trying to kill him. So he might be wanted for murder because it's his word against nobody.
True.
He's not.
And everyone that he's encountered so far thinks he's crazy.
Everybody thinks he's crazy. Like I say, he's still late for dinner. He lost the big account probably. He probably lost his job. Yeah. Like if he doesn't die from heat stroke or a venomous poison or whatever, he has no life to go back to. That's what I mean. The movie is ultimately pretty nihilistic.
Yeah, and I mean it's a little symbolic too. I mean, because he's been removed from the trappings of like modernity. You know what I mean? Right. He's back in the jungle.
Kill or
he
be
has
killed.
bested his rival. Kill or be killed.
Yep.
And that's where he's at that point. Fuck the job, fuck the family, fuck the car. I have made fire. That kind of thing.
Yeah, he's gone at full alpha.
Yeah.
He's letting out his primal scream. Yeah. Ooh. You want to hear my primal scream?
Yeah.
You ready? Hang on.
I'm ready.
Ooh. Oh.
It's Tim Allen?
Yeah, that's my primal scream.
Oh, man.
That's how I know I'm a real man. He goes, oh.
That's how you know.
Is this a metaphor for life, this movie? That the best that we can do is allow our enemies or force our enemies to be plunged to their death before they kill us? Kill or be killed.
I don't know. I don't think Spielberg was putting any lofty symbolic meaning on this movie. I mean, he looked at looked at it more as Hitchcockian, kind of just like this everyday person is thrown into these extreme set of circumstances, and this is how they handle it, you know. But there's a lot of people that have put like this is what the film means, or that's what the film means. Like a lot of people over in Europe thought it was like very anti-suburbanite kind of thing, like class warfare, essentially, because you have this blue collar trucker and then you have this white collar salesman, and they collide in the desert, essentially. Which one is gonna come out on top? But what I take away from this movie is it's hard to describe, because I mean he's finally pushed to his limits. You know what I mean? Yeah. He finally gets to a point where he'll push back, and the lengths that he has to go to get to that point. I don't know. It's more like a character study to me.
Well, I heard you say, correct me if I'm wrong, real men kill.
Yeah.
If you don't have blood on your hands, if your sword is not damp from the blood of your enemy, you're not a fucking man. Lindsay Washburn.
No.
You're no.
Come back with your shield or on it.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Come back with your shield or on it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no, it's just, it's a survival story.
Yeah.
To me. And it's very, there's a lot of suspense in it. That diner scene is probably my favorite in the movie.
Really?
We get that long one shot from when he comes in and he sees everybody and he's disoriented, and it's handheld. It's one of the few handheld shots in the entire movie. And we follow him all the way to the bathroom, and he splashes water on his face, and he kind of like centers himself, like, okay, get your shit together. And then he walks back out, and he looks out the window, and there's the fucking truck. And then we get that snap of the pool cue, the pool balls hitting. And then the camera fixes back, and nope, you're back in the nightmare. You have not escaped.
Yeah, that whole sequence that's the one that felt very Twilight Zone to me. And I mean that in the best way possible, because Twilight Zone, I think, is probably one of the most consistently, how would I put this? I think it's one of the best television shows of all time. It's probably the easiest way to put it.
Oh yeah, no, it's great.
And so to compare this movie with like the Twilight Zone is high praise coming from me. In case you don't know, Duel is getting a 4K release in September of this year.
Oh really?
Yep.
Nice. I watched it on Prime, and it looked amazing just in high definition. Yep. It looks so good.
So looks
like it was filmed last week.
Yeah, it really does. So if you haven't seen it, dear listener or viewer, then by the time this video and or podcast comes out, it might be available. So go ahead and check it out. Okay, before we get to like, I don't know how we're going to wrap this one up, but how would you compare it to Jaws? Where does your brain go to when you watch this and you see Jaws?
Well, Jaws is my favorite movie of all time.
Is it really?
I fucking love Jaws.
Not Bedroom Eyes 2?
No. Maybe top 10, but no. Jaws is the favorite.
Witchcraft 8.
I don't even remember which one Witchcraft 8 is. It's kind of just like a mishmash. Well, that doesn't narrow it down. Right now, witchcraft movies in my head are just boobs and men with just dumb faces.
Story of my life. You just described my life. That's all my life is. Lindsay is boobs and my dumb face. Every time I look at the mirror, I'm like, well, at least I got boobs in my life.
No, but I've loved Jaws ever since I was a kid. I think I saw Jaws before I saw Duel. I was like 6 years old when I first saw Jaws. And it always stuck with me. But there's so many parallels between Duel and Jaws. I mean, you have Bruce the shark is obviously like the truck. And there's so many signifiers of him, because we don't always see him. We don't really see him till the end, but we've got a fin at times, but then the barrels come in, and that shows us where we are, and that can be ominous when they pop up and stuff. And also you have the character of Brody.
Yeah.
Who's just a dude. He didn't want to stay in New York because it's full of crime and bad guys, and he didn't want to deal with all that shit. So it's like, I'm going to move to this little island town where I'm the chief and nothing happens.
It's only busy 3 months out of the year. Yeah.
It's only busy 3 months out of the year.
Yep.
Nothing's going to go wrong. I can be safe here.
I can be a closet alcoholic in peace.
Yes. In peace. Nothing is going to rain on my parade. Yeah. And then the shark shit happens. Yep. And that's the same with David Mann in this one. It's like he's just going on with his normal, everyday, menial life.
Cuckoldry.
And then all of a sudden... Yeah.
His everyday cuckoldry.
Well, in the book, Ellen Brody and Hooper were,
Wait, is that real?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hooper
okay. Now,
Ellen
wait.
Brody. Yeah.
What does okay. Hooper fucks Mrs. Brody?
Well, they knew each other previously.
They fucked before?
Yeah, and then I can't. It's been a long time since I've read the book, but I think they hook up again once he comes to the island.
So wait a minute. I'm going to quote you to you. So Hooper is Brody's sexual rival?
Yes.
Wow.
And Hooper dies in the book. He gets eaten by the shark.
Who does?
Hooper.
Hooper gets eaten by. So is the shark in the book a metaphor for lust?
It could
be. Aggressive, violent male sexual desire that arrives at the beach.
At the beach.
Men are aggressive. They're sexually aroused at the beach. The fin is phallic. It's an erection.
Yes.
Holy shit. Just when you thought it was safe. Wow. To get in that water. Men are there. Wow.
Men are there.
Men are dangerous.
They are.
What a sad fucking world we live in, Lindsay. Go to the beach, man gets you. Drive on the highway, man gets you.
Man gets you.
Man's gonna get you wherever you go. Man's gonna get you.
They're everywhere.
Smelly, dumb faces. Mongering for breast. Where's the breast I can monger? That's what they do. It's horrible. Then they make movies. And what are the movies about? Breast. And guys like them with dumb faces.
Exactly.
Hey, what's this movie called? Well, it's called Witchcraft. What's it about? Breasts. Well, what? Yeah, it's a horror movie. Okay.
It's a horror movie-ish.
Yeah, it's mostly about nudity. Yeah.
Yes, a lot of nudity.
Yeah, Peter Benchley, what's your book about? Oh, it's about a killer shark. That sounds great. But it's really about this guy fucking this other guy's wife. Whoa, okay, that's strange.
There's mob stuff going on too.
Wow, yeah, it's a whole metaphor.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But I mean, also at the end of Jaws, Brody is the only one left because he wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna fix this with my science brain and go dive in with a giant shark. And he's not Quint, who's just a madman driven by PTSD and revenge.
But Quinn is the old world idea of what a man's man is.
Yes, very much so.
And Hooper is the new man. He's the educated man.
Got the money. He's a high value man.
Bingo.
He's not 6 foot tall.
Bingo.
But he's got the money. He's got the brains.
He's a short king. He's a short king.
Yeah.
Then you got Brody. And Brody is this milquetoast simp.
Yes.
Closet alcoholic.
The best showcase of that is during the scar comparing scene. Because you've got Quentin Hooper going back like, oh, this was a thresher shark. This was this shark. This was, I got cut by a whatever. And Brody's over there, like, he lifts up his shirt and he's got his appendix scar. And he's like, should I? And then he's like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm not part of this conversation.
He's a man who's gotten through life almost unscathed, untouched, and can still barely handle his life.
Yes.
Nothing has ever happened to him, and he still can't. He's an untested man.
Yes, but he gets tested. And he triumphs. He kills the shark, and he becomes a real boy, a real man.
He becomes a real man, and he goes home and he fucks his wife like a real man. Yeah.
I'm hoping that's what David Mann does. Just shut her up, just. Give it to her. I think that's all she really wants.
Never fails.
Mrs. Mann just wants an orgasm. That's all she wants.
Mrs. Mann just wants a real man between her legs. God damn.
Just satisfy this woman, please.
Just get this woman off. Get her off and she'll get off your back, gentlemen.
Yes.
Gentlemen, if you're having problems at home, your wife is an orgasm.
No.
Ask her if she's enjoying your sexual life and what you could do to please her. And if she's like, well, I don't know, maybe we could try this. Maybe
then just go for a drive in the desert.
Yeah, go kill a man and come back and go, I killed a man today. Yeah. That murder is the ultimate aphrodisiac. You kill brutally murder a trucker in self-defense, that'll get your wife going.
Oh, yeah.
That's better than washing the dishes, brother. That's my word of advice. It's the Binge Movies marital aid advice, courtesy of Jason from Binge Movies and Lindsay Washburn from Lindsay Washburn.
Oh my God.
Get your wife off. Your wife's angry because she hasn't gotten off. Mm. You know, though, in all seriousness, tongue firmly in cheek, Mr. Mann, not a good lover.
No, I don't think so.
Limp dick. Not a good lover.
I don't think he could find that spot. I don't know.
He doesn't seem detail oriented.
No, he is a people pleaser, I would say. In some senses. But
there's
no,
a desperateness to it.
There's a desperateness to it.
Nobody wants you in the bakery begging.
You'd have to guide him, I would say.
But you don't beg at the bakery. You understand what I'm saying?
No.
You don't get in the bakery and go, oh, it doesn't feel good. Oh, am I making you happy? Oh, you stop hitting me? Oh. Like that is, as long as you don't yell at me, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Like that's not a turn on.
No,
you want a man, MANN, who has confidence that I know what I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I can listen to the signals that your body is sending me. I don't need you to spell it out. Exactly. I'm listening to your body, and your body will tell me what to do because I'm a man, MANN. Man, and you just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride, true wife, Mrs. Mann, and we'll get this done. One way or the other, whatever it takes. I am either coming back on my shield or I'm not coming back at all. That is the commitment level you have to your significant other. And man does not have that commitment to anything in his life.
No, and I think he's just trying to find that, and he just was never. I don't know.
He finds the ability. Okay, this movie is about a man finding the ability to sexually gratify his wife through the murder of a trucker.
You could look at it that way.
Brody couldn't satisfy his wife, so an old flame comes back in, interlopes in their marriage. That's the thing that pushes him over the edge, and he kills the sexual predation, the threat. Bruce is a manifestation of the sexual rivalry between Brody and Hooper. And only when the beast is slain can the orgasm be delivered. Lindsay Washburn.
Yeah, quote, I was going to say something worse, but I won't.
What were you saying?
He said the beast was slain as if he can slay that pussy.
That's 2 pee drops in one episode.
That is. I said that word twice. I didn't even realize it. No, I apologize.
You're allowed to say it. I feel like that's a term I think women can use and should claim as their own.
That's true. We should reclaim that word. I agree.
Cannot and will not use that word. Yes. But okay. One of the things that we've talked about before, we're being silly, but one of the things that we've talked about before, though, is that there is, throughout most literature, there is kind of a psychosexual dynamic, even subconsciously, when something happens. And so as silly as we were, and as much of humor as we were trying, crass, childlike sophomore humor we were deriving from it, there is the truth that the truck is phallic. It is like a threat.
Yeah.
Because there is like,
Yes.
when you're getting down to these like survival of the fittest, right?
Mhm.
Like you were talking about, like you're going back to your primal roots. You have like survival drive and sex drive, and they're interlinked because sex drive is connected to the survival of the species.
Yes, it's your animal brain.
That's it.
What is
Bingo.
consistent in your animal brain.
So many thrillers are, how do we take that suburban person or that person who's very disconnected from their animal self and make them animal? Another great example of it is Predator, the original Predator.
Yes.
Even though Arnold is this animalistic sort of military guy, he isn't really. They're a covert rescue group, and he has all these guns and weapons and technology and all these experiences. And so he's like, he's an he is a product of the
military industrial complex. Yes.
Personified. He has to shed the industrial military complex, all of the modern warfare, and go back to, he actually has a primal yell in that fucking movie with fire. Like a caveman covered in mud.
Even the Predator takes his shit off. He's like, I don't need this. I don't need this. I will kick your ass the old-fashioned way.
And the end fight, or the almost the penultimate fight before the big climax, there's an innocent woman caught in between them. And he's like, run, get to the chopper, which everybody knows. And you and I talked about Predator for 10 hours, so we don't need to revisit it.
Yes.
But even in a movie like that survival, sexual dynamic, and there's also the whole thing of like, when you talk about sexual rivals, well, who gets, in the animal kingdom, who gets to pass their DNA on?
The toughest one,
right?
Is,
So your rival is not just who gets the breeding rights, but who gets to have the heirs, who gets to have the lineage. Does the species survive? Yes, but who gets to be the patriarch of your species?
Yes.
And so that's what, like, animalistically, animals fight for to this day all around the world, right?
Yeah.
And we as higher evolved, bigger frontal lobe animals, it's the same thing. So I think when we write, especially thrillers and horror movies and these sorts of things that we're going to talk about throughout this road trip, that's really what a lot of them are about, is the animal part of our brain. And therefore triggering in us as the audience the fight or flight response, the animal part of our brains.
Yes, and that is something that is universal to all human beings.
Yes. Yep.
It's like, and I think that's why they're so appealing, and kind of, they appeal to everybody because everyone gets those feelings. Everyone has that hardwired into their brain.
Yes. Yeah, protect yourself, protect the ones you love. Look out for threats. Survive at all costs. Yeah, that's hardwired into all of us. And so when we see that, because most of us do live physically disconnected from that reality in most places in the world.
Yes.
Now we face all those things sort of existentially, but that's,
we end up, we Darwin ourselves.
Yes. Yeah. It's like now the
no more lawn darts for you fuckers.
Right. No more lawn darts.
Because you keep standing underneath them and looking up.
Yeah.
So no more lawn darts.
We stare into the sun. We destroy the ozone layer. We do all these things. And so our threats are now in many places in the world, and this isn't true everywhere, but in many quote unquote developed nations around the world, your primary threat is existential now. And that's, we've not evolved.
Or technological. Yeah. Or technological.
And we've not evolved. Our instincts are not evolved for that. And so our brains just kind of short wire. Our brains have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years of evolutionary neurobiological wiring to be like saber-toothed tiger and bears and all kind of scary shit. And then this I think is that perfect balance, because it is the modern world, but because it is in this remote desert location, it's like, the villain is a truck. So that's a representation of modernity, but it's in a very primordial place.
Yes.
It's in the wilderness.
Yes.
You have to go off into the wilderness and face the threat.
And it's a nameless threat.
Yes.
It's a faceless threat.
Yes.
It's just the threat of annihilation.
Yeah. Wow. What a great way to kick off this mini marathon road trip. Sexual annihilation.
Yes.
Existential death and sexual annihilation. Yeah, if we ever co-author a book together, that's what we should call it. Existential death and sexual annihilation. Am I existential death and you're sexual annihilation? Or are you sexual annihilation and I'm existential death? Or vice versa? Am I sexual annihilation? Are you existential death?
I don't know. I don't know. I think we could each be.
Yeah. And we're going to be offering those two things again in short order to our audience here on this platform, so you can go to the beach, enjoy your summer, realize that the guy who's helping you hunt that shark is having sex with your wife while you're drunk downstairs.
Yes.
We are going to pick up with a movie that is not too dissimilar, maybe shares some things with this.
A lot of themes. Yes.
It's a movie not from the 70s. It's a movie from 1997. Comes in an hour and 33 minutes. It takes us from California. And we're going to, in between these recording sessions, we're going to hop back in our conversion van, mosey on down the road to Arizona, where the best tea in the world is made. Only costs 99 cents and it'll only be $2 at the gas station when you buy it, even though it says 99 cents in the can. We go to Sedona, of all places. Will we get some crystals when we're in Sedona, Lindsay?
I'm not a big crystal girl.
No,
but they are very pretty.
What about UFOs? You're still on that UFO kick?
Oh yeah. I'm into the UFOs.
I feel like Sedona isn't Sedona kind of a UFO-ish place and vortexes and
there's
magnetic
some things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, anywhere in the desert, in the remote desert, there's things going on. There's fuckery about.
That's the tagline of whatever the fuck this thing that we're doing is. Our own movie marathon. We're kids who grew up with the USA marathons, and we decided to have one of our own 4 days in a row. We program the movies. Yes. You watch them. We talk about them. We introduce them to you. And then fuckery afoot. What'd you just say? There's fuckery.
Fuckery about.
Fuckery about.
Fuckery about. Yes.
We were talking about a movie starring Meatloaf, right? No. That's
Black Top.
Black Dog.
Something. Black Dog.
This is not Black Dog. This is Breakdown.
Breakdown.
What T's Breakdown? I don't fucking remember. Is this the Kurt Russell one?
Yes.
Okay. Give us a little tease. Incentivize the people to come back. What will they hear when you and I talk about Breakdown besides existential death, sexual annihilation?
There's a lot to talk about because I mean it's a very interesting movie. And this is probably the least manliest role that Kurt Russell has ever played.
So that would make him a what?
A cuck.
No.
I don't know.
Go for the hat trick.
A pussy. Yeah! A pussy. Kurt Russell is a pussy.
The quotes from you coming out of this incredible. Just we need a nice poster of Breakdown. Kurt Russell is a pussy. LindsayWashburn.com. Well, Lindsay, it's time for us to gas up the old conversion van, get some gas station burritos, mosey on down the road to Arizona, where they make the best tea in the world. Next time,
I'm ready.
Next time you see us, it'll be, 12 hours from now, and maybe 24 maximum, depending if we decide to sleep and piss. Now, Lindsay is a pee jar girl. She just makes those Gatorade bombs and throws them out the window.
I got a Shiwi. I have a Shiwi. I keep a Shiwi in my purse.
I need a rest stop. I'm a weak man. I need a rest stop. And Lindsay's always like, let's just keep going. We got to get to the next town. We got to make it down the road.
Time is money.
Yeah, she's like, I've got it all scheduled out. I got the maps here. I got our asses Rand McNally'd. I'm going, but my bowels are going to move. I need a toilet. She's like, that's what the woods are for. And she just wants to pull over the side of the road. And I'm like, 50 more miles to a rest stop. Get me to a McDonald's parking lot. At least let me go in a supersized cup. Nope. It's awful. So, anyways, let's get back on schedule. Let's get back on the road. We will catch your asses down the road in short order, 12, 24 hours, whatever it may be, for 1997's Breakdown.